Oh my. Have I been ready? I've been busy these last couple of days. Actually, I should say weeks. Nah, who am I kidding? It's more almost like a weekend. Whatever. I'd like to welcome you guys. Welcome. Make yourselves comfortable. This is going to be a bit of a longer video. And also, I'm excited for this. But that's not the point. The point is that today I'm going to be talking and giving a video essay on Miss
Dula,
Her name's Dula Lipa,
Dula, yeah.
but you call her Dula Peep.
Dula Peepa, Dula,
Her name's Dula Lipa, but you call her Dula Peep.
Dula Peep. I'm sorry.
Dula Peep recently released an album, or recently as in like back in 2020 when everything was on fire practically. A sophomore album, Future Nostalgia. The world was blessed on the 27th of March of 2020 with this dance-inducing film album. Why did I say film? Considering the amount of, like I said, things that was occurring during this point in time, I'm getting a lot of PTSD, man. Staying at home, working, and then that curfew.
Anyway,
Boxed into the genre categories of pop, disco, electro, funk, synth, and of course, pop. The name Future Nostalgia was apparently coined by Dula Peep when she was inspired by the spirits of disco pop. She was inspired by the music that she grew up with, yet she wanted to add a little spice, a little flair of her own to spice up the game and add a little bit of modernism, but you know, a little bit of pizzazz and sassy.
this is definitely fruity.
But with a runtime of just 37 seconds, it's a shorter album compared to something monstrous like SZA's SOS, which I'm like 25 or so songs. That's a lot. SZA, that is a lot. Why did you add that many? We're not here to talk about SZA, we're here to talk about Dula Peep. It is, yes, short, but it's kind of more of a short and dance related, man. It's an electrifying album, you know, with a handful of bops actually that I was actually genuinely surprised to hear. Ranging from music that you would hear at the gym to like little solo dance breaks in the shower. I mean, at least I dance in the shower. I'll be analyzing the Moonlight Deluxe Edition, not the club version, because basically just a lot of remixes and it doesn't really add anything to the table, if any worthy of mentioning. But without further ado, let's dive into this not so subtle body of work. Starting off with the Future intro song. The album wastes no time with its short runtime, as I mentioned, which it starts off with an experimental disco-esque female empowerment anthem. Slay. And second of all, the term female alpha, you know, that's mentioned throughout the song. I believe it's supposed to be a reference to Shakira's She-Wolf song. Song kind of helps us as the audience. It gets the vibe going of how this song is going to sound like and what's to come, right? And it does it good, but you know, in my opinion, I kind of find myself being like, it does the job, but it doesn't blow my socks. Actually, Don't Start Now was the first single to jumpstart this new era. It was released back in 2019's Halloween and it quickly blew up in popularity. Don't Start Now tackles the narrative of dealing with the aftermath of a breakup, but at the same time, because it's like lively, it's, you know, it's dance, make light of a situation when you break up with someone. Now that you moved on, they start, like they're kind of wanting to come back and that don't start caring about me now. That your annoying ex has decided to plant themselves back into your life. At least they try, because Dula Peep, she isn't gonna put up with this tomfoolery with the lyrics, like don't start caring about me now. She's unapologetic. We'll give her points for that. Delivers this song with sass. That's kind of what the danceability, the relatability, it was all captured well. It was basically the recipe for why it was a successful lead single. So they did pick out a pretty good one for that. You got me losing on my cool. I don't know, man. I feel like I can sing, but I'm probably, not the best singer. Cool. Lyrically, the song Cool, it takes place in summer. And it's talking, finding a romantic partner that basically makes you act up and look like a fool. You've got me losing all my cool. It's a little bit steamy in the lyricism. It's kind of depicting actions that would get me scolded at if my mom heard the lyrics. But I don't know. You guys can use your imaginations with this kind of song. Like feel of what it's supposed to be. But I will give it. It's one of those songs that I feel like should be appreciated a bit more. Given a bit more kindness to it. I got you, so come on. Physical was the second single to the album before release. A power, Zumba, dance, exercise type of song with Physical. It was released the 30th of January. Similar to Don't Start Now, it did manage to accumulate some attraction, albeit it wasn't in the same vein. Unfortunately, even though this song, it could have easily been, in my opinion, like the lead single and also the biggest hit. So another thing to mention is that the music video for Physical actually got a high budget for the music video, and it's got really amazing choreography. It's grandiose, it's over the top, and you have to take into consideration like the time frame in which it's put out. They were basically given to us. Stuff was just starting to begin in 2020. But I will say this, from experience of my own, whenever I go to the gym, this is an amazing song to exercise to. That paper scrape. It ended up getting a second video. It's more of like an exercise video with Dua Lipa as the instructor, which I was like, okay, this is a moment, and it was giving. It really was giving. So for any of those gym rats out there, Physical is one of those songs that I feel like you should definitely add it to your workout playlist. Just spice it up, extra reps or leg workouts that you're gonna do. I agree with the statement that TikTok is a gift that keeps on giving, but at the same time, it's a curse at some time. Because the next song, which I'm sure if you've been living under a rock, will you not know, Levitate. To just save some continuity in all this, I'm also going to include the solo and the remixed version with DaBaby. Levitating exploded. It was the 5th track in the album. Surprisingly, it wasn't a single. I'm delusional, I guess, or something. Unpopular opinion, even though I think it's kind of a general consensus. I personally prefer the remix version with DaBaby over the solo version without him. Not necessarily because I consider myself a fan of DaBaby or what. Him being in the song, it kind of elevates the listening experience as a whole, and it just adds more. So much so that it reached number 2 on the Billboard 100s. Although, given that it was inescapable and basically the song of 2021, I'm surprised it never reached number 1. I'm genuinely surprised. Now, I don't know what song was number 1 at the time. It should have moved. It should have moved. Period! Levitating, at least like I said, with DaBaby, should have been number 1 at some point, but it never did. Makes me a little bit disappointed, not gonna lie. So anyways, the message of the song, it's talking about, taking your partner, your love interest, whatever. You're taking them to outer space and you're just vibing out there and doing those TikTok dances or whatever. Most likely, I don't know. What do you guys even do out there in space anyway? You guys, somewhere in the middle,
think I lied a little.
In my opinion, this certified groovy yet experimental sounding underdog of a song. This song, in my opinion, is undermined by the sheer amount of other songs the spotlight over it. Thematically, this song, a person, so yourself, you're promising yourself, be chill and cool in front of your boyfriend, girlfriend, but you ultimately fail. If we don't even fail at other stuff in life, we have another thing to add on to our failure. Lyrics that kind of support this, somewhere in the middle, I think I lied a little. The lie most likely being that one promise that you made yourself not to act up. It's valid, and I understand why the promise was broken, because I'm a believer that everyone should maintain that excitement when you're committed to someone through the test of time, not just kind of like, you know, be whittled down the longer you're with someone.
Hallucinate when you come my way. Got stars in my...
I couldn't help but feel like this song has a very similar theme. Camila Cabello's Never Be the Same, in the sense that both songs are comparing a partner, a lover, to substances that stimulate the mind. In Camila's version, it's talking about just one hit and I'll know I'll never be the same. Whereas Dula Peep, damn, I need another hit, make me lose my mind. But in this case, Dua Lipa mentions how she's in a state of hallucination. We can all be fools on our own. We don't need someone else to point that out for us. Whenever she's around the person that gives her butterflies and she wants to make out with. I do like the little cowbell. Am I going crazy? Y'all, I did hear the album, okay? I just realized Pretty Please was the song with the cowbell. And Hallucinate didn't have a cowbell.
I can't believe, I can't believe, I can't believe, I can't believe, I can't.
The theme of this song is kind of a bit murky. The falling in love all over again with the same person of interest. It's alleged that Dula Peep, according to Miss Wendy Williams,
Cheers! The motherfucking...
Dua Lipa was writing this in a period of time tough on her social and romantic life, as basically every other person that has a social life. She wrote it during a period in her romantic life. She did manage to get some sort of good closure with the quote. Sometimes songs help you get out of certain situations, and it's like cheap therapy. That's actually a pretty good quote. So props to Dua Lipa, giving us a pretty good song. People, you know, kind of do use music to cope with certain situations. Nonetheless, it's still a good quote. Sonically, compared to the other body of works in this song, it is a bit more laid back to its contemporaries. It also uses violins, a little extra difference compared to the others. It was also the 6th released single in June of 2021.
Oh no, I was doing better alone, but when you say at home, I know it's at the end of it all. I should have stayed at home.
I know that you are insane and that nothing you said made any sense to me.
Yes.
Another one on the nose, like Love Again. Love Again's on the nose, but Break My Heart is even more subtle. The song is just mentioning about questioning our own choices when it comes to being with someone that we are well aware good for us, but as idiots, we decided to choose to ignore them. Unfortunately, pay attention to the red flags. The mind isn't always right, and it doesn't need everything it wants, regardless of how physically attractive the person may be. With lyrics such as falling in love with the one that'll break my heart, it's relatable because I've been there as a hopeless romantic myself. It's countless the amount of times where as a hopeless romantic myself, I do relate to this in the sense that I thought I had chances with various people beforehand. That didn't go anywhere. But it has been joked around that the song lyrically exemplifies the themes of dance crying and dance twerking. I don't know what came over me. Now, good and bad. Let's get one thing out of the way real quick. Just feels out of place with future nostalgia sonically. Okay, sonically. I'll explain. Good and Bad would have most likely fit in the self-titled debut of Dua Lipa. It is quirky and whimsical with minimal, influences, if at all, of dance and funk in there present on the track. And as the bridge basically sums up the entirety message of this song, no, we don't know how to talk. God, we know how to have fun time. Y'all can conjure up some wild thoughts on your own. I won't stop you. Girls will be women. For the most woke and relevant as the finale of the standard version of Future Nostalgia, Boys Will Be Boys is more of an enabler to start a conversation. Compared to the other songs, it's rooted in issues within society. Put your keys between your knuckles when there's boys around. We live in a society, people. Let me remind you. You can watch all the videos, stream all the music that you want, watch all the movies that you want, play all the video games that you want. We live in a society. There are backing vocals of choir-esque children singing the chorus, boys will be boys, but girls will be women. Felt a bit attacked, y'all. And the lyrics, if you're offended by the song, you're probably doing something wrong. That didn't help the situation at all.
She has trauma.
She does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you know?
And that's why she doesn't like men.
Okay.
I'm not the type of demographic of a man that Dua Lipa's trying to take a jab at in this song. Kind of using the umbrella term of all men to kind of throw us under the bus. I get the theme and I get the point. Did you have to use the umbrella term all men? It's kind of a double-edged sword in my opinion. Like, I want to enjoy the song, but then I feel attacked. But I'm starting to sound like a snowflake.
Head on my forehead, kiss my neck.
Dua Lipa and Angeline, don't come at me. It is a French name. It does have an accent to it, so I'm not really entirely sure as to how to pronounce this, but Angeline is a French singer. It uses the analogy of having a fever, being turned on by someone, from lyrics such as head on my forehead, kiss my neck. It's another raunchy song, significantly better than Good in Bed. Fever's just a more mature. The song is the first bilingual, but in this case, English-French song, which hearing this song makes me want to learn French just because of how good Angeline sounds. Singing some English parts and Dua Lipa singing some French parts, just, ooh, they both get their spotlight and they both stand out. I'm on an island, even when you're close. It's a common consensus, especially the people that went ahead on tour, thematically and sonically. They don't coincide. The people that have gone on tour, seen what back set pieces of this song, it doesn't coincide with the theme of Future Nostalgia, dance, pop music. Whereas We're Good kind of trades those kind of sounds for a more tropical song. Similar to Love Again, We're Good, more of a slower song. It was another single, albeit it was after the initial release of the first one. This promotes the deluxe Moonlight edition. The song is talking about how both parties tried their best, but things aren't working out, so they did collectively, at least they think collectively, going to move on and it's going to be all good and clear. But it turns out that it's a one-sided thing in that someone is just being a little, you've moved on, I haven't. With the lyrics, don't give me that look, just say we're good. It does showcase a wider vocal spectrum for her range in singing capability. Song is another bop. Now, I wouldn't say to add this to your workout song. By all means, if you want to, you can go ahead, but I would definitely recommend it. It is a good bop. It's kind of a more slower, on par with like a ballad, but it's more of a danceable ballad, you know, not a ballad like what you would expect Adele, watered down ballad. It's still there.
I tried a million times.
So originally on Miley Cyrus's Plastic Hearts album, Dua Lipa snagged it up and put it on the Moonlight Deluxe Edition. First and foremost, this song is a bop. Another song that I would definitely recommend putting workout exercise songs or just dance to it. In more serious terms, song is talking about abusive relationship, unfortunately, in which one is manipulating the other to stick around, feeling like they're a prisoner, hence the name, feeling like they're captive emotionally and they can't really get out of the situation. The person that's held captive wants to know why they just won't be let go, as the lyrics say, allegedly. But let's not kid ourselves, the person that's being the manipulator probably has attachment issues. I can't find a cheap replacements because we're all unique in our own ways. One thing to mention, people who haven't seen the music video for Prisoner, it is pretty gnarly, gory, so watch that at your discretion. It ate and left no crumbs. It did the job, but it was pretty gnarly. As you can see from the photos, you can kind of get the idea. 10 times worse than what you're seeing on photos. Go watch it at your own discretion. I've been talking good about these songs, right? But the next one,
If it ain't me.
more like, this song is not for me. I've heard it before. In the making of this entire video, I've been hearing the album various times, and some songs, you know, they prove to be growers. I enjoyed them over time and the more I listened to them, but If It Ain't Me is just not one of those songs. It's too repetitive for my liking. You enjoy this song? Kudos to you. This ain't it, Chief. At least not for me. This song reeks of pick me energy, pick me girl aesthetic. It's talking about falling for someone, getting in your feelings so much that you're actively letting the other person know that you're worth being chosen over the other options. Fortunately, this one was a grower. Can't be said for If It Ain't Me. It is more moodier, does have a slower rhythm in this album, but there is an even moodier song, so stick around. Just like the title says it, Not My Problem.
Is not my problem to talk about.
It's just not for me. I don't dislike it, but I'm very new. These songs I just didn't vibe to. If they were to play it, I would literally be that one guy at the party just... Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm at a party. Yeah. Hey, wanna get some food after this? I will criticize the feature choice, JID or JID, however you pronounce it, has some of the most annoying ad-libs I've ever heard that can compete with Scott Travis, you know, who's the king of ad-libs. Some people find his ad-libs annoying. I would say these two can compete. These are pretty annoying. Again, if you enjoy the song, let's agree to disagree. He does come into the song very late, literally around 30 minutes before the song ends is around when he comes in. Coming in the last 30 seconds of a song kind of makes it feel rushed. You don't want a song to feel rushed. I would interpret this song as just not giving an absolute peanut for your ex.
The title says, not my problem.
And it all comes down to the final track, One Day, Un Día. On the Moonlight edition, of course. I crowned this song the moodiest and gloomiest of the bunch, and it's only the other bilingual song other than Fever with its French lyric, though in this one, it has some somber reggaeton lyrics. Dua Lipa decided to team up this time with J Balvin, Bad Bunny, and Tiny on the track, and it's another one of those dance crying songs. Someday, your ex will hopefully learn to love and appreciate you. And if you're going through that right now, my condolences to you. It is not easy. This song just brings me memories. It's a good song. It is a bop. If you haven't heard it, go hear it. Dua Lipa served Bad Bunny, actually managed to hit a really high note in the song, so kudos to him, which that's not something Bad Bunny usually does. And the production, I mean, if Tiny's in there, bet that the production's going to be really, really solid. Which I had a blast listening to this album. There was some songs that just aren't my cup of tea.
I'm looking at you if it ain't me.
You, not my problem.
Both of you two are literally not my problem, and I will keep my word. The critics and fans were correct when they said that Dua Lipa has definitely leveled up since her last album. She's got a more definitive sound that suits her raspier voice. Her dancing skills significantly improved, and they've seen better days since when she did that one pencil dance meme. At this rate that she's going, she will easily solidify herself as a household name, well-renowned artist. Very evident that she is a force to be reckoned with since when she first broke out with IDGAF and New Rules. It's amazing when an artist is able to bust out even more hits even the ones that they're well known, and prove to audiences that they're not just one-hit wonders. She was able to fabricate smash hits, the Levitating remix, Don't Start Now. She was able to prove to herself that she's well capable of doing this. I'm quite hopeful for the future of Dua Lipa. My favorite songs from this era, excluding any singles, in no particular order: Fever, Hallucinate, Prisoner, Pretty Please, and I know I did say no single, but we're good. So those songs, I would say they're my personal favorites from the album. If you decided to stick around for the entirety duration of this video, I'd like to thank you. This took a lot more time than I anticipated. I couldn't help but think Dua Lipa inspired Beyonce's Renaissance album. Now, that isn't to say that Dua Lipa is the creator of disco. She was inspired by it. It is kind of surprising that when Dua Lipa was one of the people to revamp disco era that was kind of captivated in around 2020 to 2022, Beyonce later decides to drop Renaissance. No shade thrown at her. It's a little interesting. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to comment a disco ball emoji. Let me know what other albums you'd be interested in, the music, the era prior to the initial release, and feel free to subscribe. Enough about me. Y'all can go dance, have fun with some future nostalgia songs, but I need to stop hallucinating and just go to bed, man.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to ball up in the corner by the fireplace and quietly cry myself to sleep over the childhood that I lost.